Back to the channel. I believe it's time to take this bad boy on a spin. I got it on the ground. I had to adjust the steering and get it as in line as I could for the alignment. This side is out, but I have no more adjustment room, so I may have to figure out something, whether I get shorter tie rods or this rack and pinion's old. This connection here has got some issues. I got it to work, but I may have to swap that out for something else. Shifting's good. Oh man, I forgot. I gotta put some Loctite on these so they don't slip. This one should be good because everything's tied in with lock nut. Look what I did for the chain tensioner. I built this L bracket with some rollers that I'd found. And then I just put some springs on here. I bought two, not sure which one would work. End up using them both. I'm probably gonna have to come up with a different spring, a stronger one. I'm thinking maybe a trampoline spring, but I'm not 100% sure. Got this cover on. It is, as you can see right there, 1 down 4 up, which in this case is gonna be, see, that'll be up and that'll be down, which means that will be first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and then, you know, neutral's in there somewhere. Also came up with a different fuel system. The fuel system I had issues with. What were the issues? Well, the fuel pump I have was just dumping fuel right into the carburetor and overwhelming it, and I couldn't find a pressure regulator or a pump that sent less pressure. So I did the next best thing that I could figure out. I added a fuel tank up top, so I will fuel pump into the tank. There's an overflow that feeds back to the main tank, and then gravity feed to the carburetor. And since then, this thing seems to sit and idle and just runs well. I also added a switch to the fuel pump so it doesn't always run, that I can just flip it on or flip it off. And then one other issue I found is on this 650 Suzuki, there is a kickstand switch. And I believe when the kickstand is down, it lets you start the bike, but as soon as you stick it in gear, it kills it. So I disconnected that switch and basically bypassed it so that it's good to go. I might do like a hidden switch, so just like a safety switch that if you haven't, it'd be nice if I could do a pressure switch, so if your butt's in the seat, it kind of engages that. But I think that's a little bit of engineering I just don't want to do because I am just so close to being done with this. I am concerned about cooling, and let me show you why. It's pretty hot in here. I do have an oil cooler. I think what I'm gonna do is stick a fan on the back end of this, just a small fan that'll blow blow air across the cooling fins to keep my oil cool. But the motor is somewhat behind the back seat. Not terribly. I am gonna get some airflow across here. Shoo! But I'm not sure how much. You know, there is quite a bit of fins sticking out there. So I may also add some sort of fan that just blows across the motor. I have the electricals. I have a way to just tie it in simply and easily with a fuse. So I may add another fan. Not sure yet, but it does get hot. I did move the fuel line. So the fuel line was down here right by the motor, and I was feeling it was pretty hot and I didn't want to deal with that. So I put it up here. I may also wrap it in some, you know, aluminum type heating tape. Kind of like what's on the back of the seat here. Just wrap it so it kind of reflects the heat away from it. Also with the battery, I added some foam around it. I got it strapped down. The foam is just to keep it, this vibrates. I mean, this is, it's crazy. It vibrates like nuts. So I added the foam and tied it down in hopes that it would keep the battery kind of in place. So I got that going. It's right here. It's on my solar charger. Just keeping it nice and taut. There's the gas tank. Got plenty of fuel you can see on my upper tank, I do have a level, so I can see how much fuel is in it. Right now, it's pretty much right here at the top. So if I flip on the fuel pump, it'll fill it up. And if it gets over full, it comes out the top here and right back down into the main tank. Also, when I had the pump just coming, this is a vent hose for the carburetor, but when the fuel was just being pumped way too hard into the carburetor, it was just dumping fuel out this. Since I've gone to the gravity feed, I don't, but it is a breather hose. I just ran that down here over by the tank, and it's just down there as an air. So I've done a lot of crazy work on this. Everything works great. Again, I may have to add some cooling fans just to keep it cool. My tachometer doesn't work. I don't know if it's, I know the wiring's right because it came off the old dash for the motorcycle. So I just think maybe it's just the tachometer was too cheap, piece of junk. I don't know. It lights up and looks cool, but it no tacky. So that's a bummer. I also added a mirror that I think I've shown you already, so I'm not going to show you again, but the rearview mirror, it's perfect when I sit in there, it just works great. But it just, this bike vibrates so much, or the Dune Buggy vibrates so much, it just ends up all skiwampus and weird. But not to worry about it. Maybe I'll figure something out there. Well, I think it's time. Let's get in this thing and let's go rip on it. See how fast we get going and go from there. Fire in the hole. Gotta let it warm up a little bit. Holy cow. This thing rips, and I'm not kidding you. I don't know how fast I was going. I was maintaining the speed limit. I did not go any faster than that. But at any rate, I lost my gas cap because I didn't tighten it down enough. We're good to go now, found it. I'm gonna take it for another spin. I'm gonna change up the camera angle so you can see kind of the back end of it now. But holy cow, this is so much fun. The ride is smooth, had a great time. I may have to adjust the brakes or figure out some way to better brake. Because coming into my garage, I banged into some other stuff I got here in the garage. Not a big deal. I was going slow enough. It wasn't too bad. But holy cow, this was a lot of fun. And I'm super stoked to take this out in the dirt and have a lot of fun with it. But I'm gonna take it out for one more, give you another video camera or another camera angle, and hopefully it's a good one. Love it. I need to get this out somewhere where I can really rip around and just have some fun with it. As of right now, it works great. Probably should address some sort of braking issue so it stops better. And I did have the chain fall off on me on that one. Not a big deal with the chain tensioner. I was able to get it on and get going again, but I probably just need to have something a little bit stronger. And I'm thinking probably a stronger spring. Also, the neutral indicator light is on all the time. It doesn't turn off when I'm not in neutral. And that's kind of a bummer because I'm not sure which gear I'm in. I mean, once I'm going, I know, but when I had to restart it again after the chain fell off, I didn't quite know where I was. And I think going from 1 to 2 is just real slight. So I'm gonna probably have to address that. But for now, I'm considering a win. Maybe add some cooling fans and I'll look into what I can do better for braking because braking's just not quite there. I think it needs to be better. Anyways, I loved this. This is such a fun project for me. I consider it done other than the few things I do want to address, but I'll address those as I can figure out on where I can go with this and before I go out and take it for a real riding trip, I'll need to address those. I saw some neighbors coming out and poking their heads out, probably because this sucker is so loud. I didn't want to ride it anymore. I'm here in the city, it's not registered. And so I need to address that as well. So stay tuned for some more projects on this, but I do have another project I'm working on, actually 2. So I'm going to be dropping videos on those and hopefully you follow along. Again, this is a budget build, and I say budget build, I spend absolute least money possible getting these going, but we'll see where we can go. Follow along. I got some other stuff coming up. Thanks, guys. See you around.